They said it was impossible. Not just risky, impossible. But Tony Pugh wasn't listening. Tony wasn't just a guard. Dunbar Armored was his second home. He knew the codes, the schedules, the cameras. He knew who was lazy, who paid attention. But more importantly, he knew the weak spots. His friends saw him as quiet, reliable. No one thought he was capable of more. But every night, Tony left work thinking, I know how to take it all. For years, he watched millions flow through those vaults. One night, over beers with a friend, he said it aloud. I could take it. And no one would know how. His friend laughed. But Tony was already thinking. He started testing the idea. Quietly. Then he spoke to others. 5 men. Trusted. Ruthless. Each with their own reason for saying yes. Some needed the money. Some just wanted to see if they could pull it off. But they shared one thing. None of them believed in playing life fair. Tony mapped it all. The cameras, the truck arrivals, the shifts. He knew exactly where to park. How to open the doors. How to disable the alarms. All in 15 minutes. If they did it right, police wouldn't even know until morning. By then they'd be gone. But first, he needed a crew. And he needed a plan. Tony didn't want amateurs. He needed men who could follow orders. Silent. Precise. Invisible. He picked 5. Eugene, the locksmith, could open any door without leaving a trace. Eric, the muscle, ex-military, calm under fire. Lance, the driver, fast, unshakable, knew LA's streets like veins on his hand. Mike and Phil, disciplined, no questions, no panic. Tony laid out the blueprint in a rented warehouse. A full mock-up of the Dunbar facility. Built from memory. He walked them through every step. Arrival at midnight, when guards switched shifts. Entry through the employee door. Tony had a key. Security cameras? Tony knew which ones were real and which were fake. Inside the vault? Millions in small bills. Easy to move, hard to trace. But the real trick wasn't just getting in. It was getting out. Without noise. Without alarms. Without bodies. Tony's rule. No one gets hurt. No one dies. They trained every week. Timing every movement. Rehearsing every possible failure. 15 minutes in. Gone before the city woke up. Each man memorized his role. No paper. No phones. Only their heads. By the end of summer 1997, the plan was perfect. And Tony? He was ready to pull the trigger. It was September 12, 1997. Midnight. Downtown Los Angeles slept. But in the shadows, 6 men moved. Tony slid his employee key into the side door of the Dunbar Armored Depot. No alarm. Just like he promised. Inside. Darkness. Silence. But Tony knew every step, every corner. The team followed in, gloves tight, masks on. They didn't speak. Only signals. First the cameras. Tony led Eugene to the security room. He disabled the real cameras. Left the dummy ones running. On tape. Nothing looked wrong. Meanwhile, Eric and Phil headed to the vault. They knew the path. Tony had drawn it 100 times. The vault door stood heavy, locked. But Eugene was ready. In minutes, the lock gave way. They were in. Money. Stacks of small bills. Bundled. Fresh. $18.9 million. Sitting there, untouched. They moved fast. Duffel bags filled. One after another. Each bag calculated. Heavy enough to carry, but no more. Lance waited outside with a U-Haul truck. Engine running. Every 30 seconds. A bag. No noise. No mistakes. 12 minutes in. Almost done. But then, footsteps. A janitor. Wrong place, wrong time. Eric froze. Tony's rule echoed in his mind. No one dies. They let the janitor pass. Unnoticed. One more bag. Then 2. 15 minutes. Done. They vanished back through the side door. Truck gone into the night. No alarms. No witnesses. No trace. By the time the first shift arrived, the vault was empty. $18.9 million. Gone. Morning came, and chaos followed. Police. FBI. News crews. The biggest cash heist in U.S. history, and not a single clue. No cameras. No alarms. No fingerprints. Inside the circle, Tony kept control. He paid each man their cut. In cash, no banks, no trails. But Tony? He got greedy. He wanted more than quiet riches. He bought property. Luxury cars. Showed up with wads of cash. Eugene warned him. "You're too loud." But Tony laughed it off. He thought he was untouchable. After all, no one suspected the loyal, quiet supervisor. Then came the crack. Tony handed an old friend a stack of stolen bills, wrapped in original bank bands. That friend? He kept them. And when the FBI came knocking, he handed them over. A serial number matched. It was Dunbar money. The FBI traced back. Quietly. Patiently. They watched Tony. Watched his spending. His friends. His habits. Then they closed in. The FBI didn't kick the door in. They waited. Watched. Built their case. Tony noticed the cars parked too long on his street. The same faces at the diner. He knew. Still, he tried to stay normal. But it was too late. Surveillance footage surfaced. Not from Dunbar, but from a nearby gas station. The U-Haul truck, same night, same area. Lance had stopped for fuel. One mistake. One camera. Now the feds had a lead. They squeezed Lance first. He cracked. Gave them names. One by one, the crew was picked up. Eric. Mike. Phil. Eugene. Interrogations. Deals. Betrayals. Some flipped for lighter sentences. Some stayed silent. Tony. He fought back. Denied everything. But the money trail was everywhere. Cash purchases. Properties. His name was all over it. The case was airtight. Tony was arrested. Facing decades. In court, the prosecution laid it out. The perfect heist. Undone by greed. Tony watched his crew fall apart. Lance got time. Eugene too. All of them. No one walked free. The dream was dead. Tony Pugh was sentenced to 24 years. No parole. His crew? Decades behind bars. Of the $18.9 million stolen, over $10 million was never recovered. Gone. Hidden. Forgotten. Some say Tony stashed it. Somewhere no one would ever find. Others believe it was laundered, spent, vanished into the streets of L.A. Tony never confessed. Not fully. Not even when the cell doors slammed shut. His last words to the judge? "You'll never find the rest." And they didn't. The Dunbar heist remains the largest cash robbery in U.S. history. Pulled off with precision. Ruined by pride. In the end, Tony got his wish. He took it all. And lost everything.